Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about angle relationships. So make sure you have two pieces of paper. It's really important to write down the definitions, or at least the first picture, because that's what's going to help you on the quizzes for today. All right. Okay, so this is two parallel lines cut by a transversal. And when that happens, you get all these crazy angles that happen. And they all have different relationships. So what we're going to talk about today is the relationships that those angles have. And you might be wondering, what's a transversal? Well, it's where when you slice two parallel lines in half. So it's a line that is intersecting two parallel lines. Okay, and remember, pause the video at any time. Take down these notes, and yeah, it's going to help you. It'll make the quizzes go by faster, and that's what's going to really help you. So if you don't have a ruler, draw two parallel lines and then a line cut by the transversal and label it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's going to be so important for today's lesson. All right, so we're first going to start off with corresponding angles. So corresponding angles, an example of that would be angles 1 and angle 5. Okay, so corresponding angles, they lie on the same side as A and B. So this is line A and this is line B. So they lie on the same side. So they're both on this side of the transversal. Okay, so angle 1 and angle 5, those are congruent. They're corresponding angles and are congruent. And this symbol right here, and I'm going to make it blue because it's similar to corresponding angles, those are the same. It means they are the same. Okay. Next one, alternate interior angles. Okay, so alternate interior angles, example would be 3 and 6. So they lie on different sides of the transversal, and they are between the two lines. So in between these two lines on different sides of the transversal. So I'm going to find my dark blue pen, and that's what alternate interior angles are. So 3 and 6. Okay, so those are dark blue. Okay. So those are, here, I'm going to try to erase that, make that a little better. This was angle 6. Okay, and this is, all right, so that's alternate interior angles. Okay, and then we have the alternate exterior angles. So if they're exterior angles, they're opposite sides of the transversal, but they're outside. Okay, so this is, I'm going to label these as exterior, interior, crocodile, alligator, and then exterior. Okay, so these are exterior, outside, and then inside. Does that make sense? Okay, so the alternate interior angles are on the opposite side of the transversal, so they're on the opposite sides, and then they're on the outside, so the outsides. Okay, so examples would be 1 and 8. So 1 and 8. Okay, and then we have the last one is same side. Before I move on, all three of these, they're congruent. Okay, so 1 is congruent to 8, that's the same measure. 1 is congruent to 5, that's the same measure. 3 is congruent to 6, that is the same measure. Okay? All right, so then we have same side interior angles. And so what these are, is I'm going to label these with some pink, would be example of 3 and 5. That's the one that's a little different than the rest. They're not congruent, but when they add up to 180. So angle 3 and angle 5 equal 180, and they lie on the same side of the transversal, and they're between, so they're on the interior of the two lines. Okay, so those are the definitions of what we're going to be talking about today. It's going to help you on the quizzes if you at least draw this first picture and kind of say corresponding angles 1 and 5. That's what would help me. So we're going to do a few examples. Like I said, it's a 2-pager. So I'm going to turn over to my second page, and I'm going to have my definitions right next to me as well. So that's going to help me with my example transversals and parallel lines. So this first example, I've got a transversal and then cut by parallel lines, and we're trying to find x. Okay, so I want to look back and see, I have, if I want to even label these as angles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that might help as well. And then you can kind of look back at the definitions and see that, okay, this is angle 3, and what I need to find is angle 5. So if I go back to my definitions, I see that 3 and 5, those are the same side interior angles, which means they add up to 180. So what I do is I'm setting my problem at 100 plus x equals 180. Because it's telling you they're the same side interior angles. Okay? So I'm basically solving for x. It's an easy one-step equation. You guys are so smart, you already know how to do it. So we draw a line down the equal sign. We find the side with a number not attached to the variable. And what we do is do the opposite operation. So we subtract 100. Whatever we do on one side, we also do to the other side. X equals 80. So that is 80 degrees. So x right here is 80 degrees. Okay, next one. All right, so we have angle. We can, if you want to label them, let's go and label them. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So angle 7 and angle 2, if I kind of look back here, well, they don't really have angle 7 and angle 2, but we can see back here, these are exterior. Okay, so maybe if I look at exterior, is there anything that talks about exterior? So exterior, so are they alternate? Yeah, because they're on two different sides of the transversal. So exterior, alternate exterior angles are what angles 7 and 2 are. So I can even label that as alternate interior, alternate exterior. Alternate exterior angles. And what does that mean? It means that they are congruent, right? Sorry, my lighting's a little bit off. So when they're congruent means they're the same. So then x would just equal 55. All right. Now we're going to move on to the third example. If I want to label them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've got angle 2 and angle 6. So 2 and angle 6, we don't really talk about 2 or angle 6, but we see one is exterior and one is interior. They lie on the same side of the transversal, and they lie on the same side as A and B. So those are corresponding angles. Okay, so corresponding angles means that they're congruent. So these are corresponding angles, which means they are congruent, and therefore x would equal 117 degrees. All right, and last one. Without trying to look back at our notes, which you totally can, I'm going to just kind of analyze it from here. So these are both interior, okay? They're inside both of the parallel lines. So we know they're interior, and they are alternate because they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Therefore, they're alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are angles that are congruent. So I'm going to write alternate interior angles, and they are congruent. Therefore, x equals 33 degrees. Let me know if any questions, comments, concerns. Sorry about the lighting, it's a little off. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.